Whether it's a tiny little indie title or a big AAA blockbuster, video games have been captivating players from all walks of life with their innovative, addictive, and engaging adventures. But while playing video games is easy, it's mostly just pressing buttons and moving joysticks after all, making video games is a whole nother ballgame, as hundreds of people work tirelessly for years on end to get it out. In this video, we will be looking at the process of how a video game is made, from inception to execution to distribution. Before we dive into the process of how a game is made, let's take a brief look at some of the many roles involved in making one. First off, we have the game designers who, as their name suggests, design everything about the game, from its gameplay to its presentation. Next up, we have the game artists, who bring the designer's vision to life. They are the ones who create the environments, assets, and the UI of the game. Then we have periphery roles like producers, who function much like film producers, and writers who write the story if the game has a story, and music composers who compose the music. And then we have the testers, who play the game and report all the bugs so that they can be fixed. That sounds like a perfect career for you. I can't blame you, but you might want to think again, as testers don't make much money. In fact, the average median salary of a tester in 2019 was only $52,000 a year. That may sound like a lot, but it's barely enough to get by into the US these days. Now back to video game roles, as we're not quite done yet. We still have the programmers who, program the game by writing the code to make it function, and audio engineers who come up with all the sound effects and make sure the game sounds like it should. Phew, that was a lot, but now it's finally time to dive into the meat and potatoes of this video. And just like with a book, or movie, or song, every video game starts with an idea, a concept. This concept is pitched to publishers, producers, and management executives to get their approval and participation in the project. But before they can jump into production, the development team must first produce a game design document for the game, which contains the game's concept and certain gameplay ideas, along with sketches of certain parts of the game. This document is present throughout the entire development process of the game and is frequently subject to change. At this time, or after this time, prototypes are created in order to experiment with certain ideas or concepts. Once the team has gotten the basic structure of the game and its elements finalized, it is officially time to start production. Production is the stage in which the actual game is built, so all the various roles that we previously discussed come together and get to work. The programmers write the code, the designers design the game, artists build the assets and environments, animators animate the movements, music composers compose the music, audio engineers create the sound effects, and testers play the game and report all the bugs so that they can be ironed out. Oh, and by the way, voice acting from voice actors is recorded, and animation is either done manually or by motion capture, or mocap, in which real humans wear specific sensors on their body that capture their movements and convert them to animation. Over the course of the development cycle, the game meets certain milestones or stages in its production. These can range from pre-alpha, in which the game is slightly more than a prototype, to gold, where it is, or should be, ready to release. Cyberpunk 2077. Sometimes, if it's necessary, to make sure the game releases on time without being delayed again, the studio may require the staff to work overtime. After the game is hopefully finished, it is ready to move on to the final stage, which is post-production. In this stage, the game is marketed and promoted for, usually in the form of demos, gameplay trailers, story trailers, TV commercials, and/or revealed at the annual Electronic Entertainment Expo, or E3. The game is also distributed to retail companies such as GameStop, Walmart, or Best Buy, so that these companies have enough stock to sell the game on launch day. But sometimes, the development process doesn't even end there, as the studio may develop additional content for the game after its release, and then release it separately, usually in the form of updates, DLC, microtransactions, and expansion packs. And that's about it for the process of developing a video game. Hopefully now, the next time you pick up a controller and play your favorite game, you know that making it isn't as easy as pressing a button. That's all for this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell right next to it for all notifications.